So, about a month ago, I believe it was a month ago now, I attended a protest in Vancouver, and I don't know how to describe the two sides, right? I don't know what the right terminology is, but for just so we can understand, there's the alphabet people, and then there's the people that stand up for parents and kids. I don't know what terms I'm supposed to use, but that's how I'm going to go ahead with this story. And then going down there, the alphabet people just were screaming at us, and I don't even know if they were paid to be there. Some of them, they were like chanting, no space for hate, no space for hate, and they were so full of hate. And if you go up and you talk to any of them, which I did, I asked this one lady, hey, like, they have the rainbow flag, and then they also have a flag that's pink and blue there. I actually don't know what the flag means. I don't know if that's a trans flag, or I don't know what it is. I think it might be. But I asked her, "Hey, what's this flag, and what does it mean to you?" And she said, "Just Google it. Just Google it." And I go, "Why would I Google it? I'm standing here, you're holding the flag. You tell me, what does it mean to you?" No, she didn't want to talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. And I'd be like, "Why don't you want to talk to me?" "Because you're full of hate." I'm full of hate, standing here asking you some questions about what you feel and what you want to do. Do you want to talk, or do you want to argue? So, all the way down there at that protest, especially in downtown Vancouver, we were swarmed, we were surrounded by the counter protests, the rainbow alphabet people. Don't even want to insult the rainbow people, because I don't even want to lump the gays in there, because the gays are sick of this crap too. But I never saw so much hatred coming from one group. And when I looked at this group of people, I just thought they were just messed up. They were just messed up. They had no intention of communicating, talking, understanding, or spreading any kind of love whatsoever. And the irony is, they would have signs that say, open your heart or die, like things like that. And I'm like, well, that's really loving. So it was just being screamed at. People were banging drums. People were just shouting into the ether, shouting into the air. I didn't even know what they were shouting about. Nobody wanted to talk to us. And so basically, the reason I'm hot under the collar about this today is because there's this headline here. Let me just share this. Coquitlam Library cancels drag queen story time due to safety concerns. So on October 21st, there's going to be another Million March for Kids, and that's fine. And so the Coquitlam Library, this article is written by Shrishti Gandev and Greg Bowman. Okay. Took two people to write this piece of propaganda. And the reason I call it propaganda, because there's nowhere in this article do you talk to the other side. All you do is say that this is a hate group, and you go and get some MLA to confirm that the people that stand up for parents and kids are hate groups. And I'm starting to resent that you're calling us that, because you have no idea. Do you have kids in school? I have two kids in school, and let me tell you what they teach them. Basically, they go and they quote Selena Robinson. She's a Coquitlam MLA, okay, Coquitlam Millardville. And she says, Robinson says she's attended drag queen story times at Coquitlam libraries in the past, including one earlier this year that saw protesters and counter protesters gather outside. To me, it says that this is about hurting people, and it's wrong. It just makes me very sad that we have people in the community that think that this ought to be shut down. Do you really think that this is about hurting people? Who do you think you are hurting in the end? You're hurting children if you confuse them about their gender. This has nothing to do with homophobia or gays. Do you understand that? Can you get that through your head? You are missing the point entirely. However, the MLA acknowledges those opposed to this event are in the minority. No, we're not. We're in the minority, just like we're the fringe minority who don't want these ridiculous what. I do believe fundamentally that most British Columbians, most Canadians are inclusive and are compassionate. Not the alphabet people. They certainly weren't inclusive and compassionate at all that day, I can tell you firsthand, and celebrate our diversity and take pride in that. I think there's a small subgroup. Of course, that's what you say. I think there's a small subgroup that's always been there, that's been more vocal and more likely to act on their homophobia. I do look forward to a time where we can have drag queen story times that doesn't require protesters or counter protesters. That is just families taking their kids to a theatrical, fun library event without having to worry about needing police there. Why did these two journalists, Shrishti Gandev and Greg Bowman, why did you not talk to a parent? Why did you not put a parent in this article who is against this? You know what this is against? Let me explain this to you. They teach children that you are not the gender you are assigned at birth. So if you're 5 years old, go look at some 5 year olds, 6 year olds, 7 year olds. You have a teacher standing there in front of class and they say, you are not the gender you are assigned at birth. So your body parts mean nothing. So again, if your body parts mean nothing, why do you need to cut them off? But that's another story. But if you tell a little kid that from kindergarten, they just grow up thinking that. That just becomes the norm. That what you have here doesn't matter. The fact that you have two X chromosomes, you have ovaries, you have a uterus, you will have your period one day, you are a woman. They tell you that you are not the gender you are assigned at birth. They tell that to boys. If you are have born with a penis and you're XY and you have testosterone, you are not a boy. I cannot tell you what a load of garbage that is fundamentally wrong, that is scientifically wrong, that is biologically wrong. And for God's sake, that doesn't mean that boys can't be feminine and girls can't be masculine and vice versa and all that stuff. But if you go and say you are not the gender you are assigned at birth, I have a huge problem with that. And that is what you tell the kids. That is what's written on the whiteboard at my kids' school. And I don't agree with that. That is not my view. I don't want you telling that to my child. Luckily, my child is old enough, both my children, that they can make up their own minds. They are two boys. Anybody walks into my home or walks into a classroom and tells those kids that they're not boys, they can take a hike. Okay. This has nothing to do with homophobia. This has to do with bending a kid's mind so that they're so confused that when they're 13 years old, they want to take their breasts off and the parents have to go with it. Otherwise, they're seen as misgendering. That is what this is about. I've said it many times. If you're 30 years old, 40 years old, 25 years old, and you want to Caitlyn Jenner yourself, then you go ahead and do that. But you do not touch the children. That is why you hear, hey, teacher, leave those kids alone at protests, because that's what we want. We don't want you guys talking to the kids, especially when you're spewing complete and utter nonsense. And then you have the media with this nonsense, bullshit propaganda, clipping people and quoting people like Selena Robinson who are saying we're hate groups. You are off your rocker, woman. That has nothing to do with homophobia. We should all be writing to her to school her because she obviously doesn't get it. And that's what makes me mad. I never saw so much hate as I saw when I went to that rally. And that came from the alphabet trans people. They should be full of love. They should be embracing anybody. But if I tell you my kid is a boy, you leave him alone. Don't start confusing him. Leave him alone, and don't start confusing the children that come up, because you're just all you have is a generation of kids that are confused. So the people that have their blinders on are the administration, because they're following some sort of bizarre agenda. Otherwise, they're going to lose their job. You speak up, you lose your job, and that's how they keep you all in line. But to not engage or talk to a parent is absolutely sick. And this is not about homophobia. And this has just gone off the rails here. And why do you want a drag queen to read to the children anyway? A drag queen is theater, it's adult entertainment. Most of the time they're wearing stripper clothes and they're dancing around and gyrating and being all provocative. Why don't you have a senior citizen read to the children? Why don't we have senior citizen story time? Why don't we have veteran story time? Why don't we have story time of maybe somebody who's lived in a different country and who can come here and tell us something about where they grew up or something? Why don't we have, multicultural story time or whatever, right? Why is it drag queen story time? Because you want men dressed up as women and you want to have little kids see that and then get confused. And then that just affirms the fact that you tell them they're not the gender that they're assigned at birth. What kind of bullshit is this? You all need to get off my nut. I am sick of this stuff, right? With you guys pushing this on the kids and then refusing to talk about it. You guys are the ones that are full of hate and ignorance. I don't see that the parents and protesters that stand up for kids and for their own damn rights are full of hate. We just don't want this nonsense on us, Selena Robinson. So get your head out your butt. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found value in it, please like and subscribe and share it out. Thank you so much for your love and support and engagement. I love reading the comments. And just to note, my Rumble channel name is AK Straight Speaks. I know it's a funny name. If I could change it, I would. So it is a bit hard to find. And on YouTube, I'm simply Anita K. Have a great day, stay strong, and I'll speak to you all in my next video.